Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh. I just realized I didn't refresh my lipstick. But too late now. You're going to get me with early lipstick. I know. I'm supposed to always have my lipstick on. Lipstick, coffee, jacket. Leanne, you have 3 things to remember. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but whatever. So, how's your Wednesday going? Mine's not going quite so well, and my glasses are still on my head. Yeah, obviously 2 out of 4 ain't bad, but you know what? You do what you do. I did get the coffee made. I knew I needed coffee. Let's just keep dumping this in here. We have coffee. It's raining here in Portland. It is a monsoon. What do they call it? A river of some sort. And it's just like, there is so much rain. I put on my waterproof shoes. I felt like I should get out the whole rain boots for this, but I was like, nah, it's already March. You're not supposed to be wearing rain boots, but I maybe should have. Hey, so welcome to Flower School Live. I'll quit whining. You don't need to hear that anymore. I have my coffee. Such is life. I'm off center because there's a table here because we're going to be doing some really big something. So don't leave because that's pretty exciting. This really big something doesn't fit on the table. So we have a special little table down here that is blocking me from coming over. But isn't that cool? That's what you have to look up to. So, flowers. I know, aren't we lucky? So many beautiful garden roses. Everything's from gardenrosesdirect.com. They were all grown at Alexandra Farms. And some of you know that I was trying to figure out the white to paint. Because how do you paint white? And when you think about the Pantone color of the year, Cloud Dancer, it was so controversial because people are like, well, it's white. White is so many different variations. And so then I'm trying to paint a wall white. What is white? And so I picked roses. I mean, where else do you go? So I have White O'Hara, Leonara, and Alabaster. I'm going to put it up into the close-up. Here we go. So these are all white garden roses. But when you look at it, there is so much variation. What is white? Excuse me. That was my problem. Because when I went down to the paint store and I got their little paint chips, there was like 8 zillion whites. And how do you even begin choosing? But I based it on what is FDI and built around that. And you know, Alabaster is our white. That is FDI white. Alabaster is the win. Let's put that up there because that's the only one that matters. That is the one. That is the one that is our white. And because your computer screen or your phone screen or whatever may be different, you may not see it, but it's a little greener. It's kind of a green-blue white as opposed to a yellowy white. So it's quite a bit different. And you'll see it when you put them all together again. Let's put them back up there again so that we can see them together. And when you look at them together, you can really see that variation. But when you look at them alone, they're white. They're all white. But this is the right white, so whatever. So today we have so much fun going on. And I'm going to move off camera because, well, I'll sort of be here, but I'm going to move aside because most important today is talking about weddings and the practical approach to how do you do with it. Now we have an entirely full house. Oh my gosh, it's overloaded. So in the studio, Jules is keeping us on camera. She's going to say, Leanne, move it over this way, go that way. Jeri, do this, do that. She keeps us in line. Then we have Teacher Anna, or Teacher Annie, get the right one. Teacher Annie and Teacher Michelle watching to see your comments. And then I put my phone up here because I may watch your comments too. We'll see what goes. And we have a live studio audience. Yes, the classes room is in here. You know, we always say, oh, on the other side of the wall are the students. They're on this side of the wall. So they may have questions. You'll hear from them. Then virtually, we've got Teacher Dove, Teacher Michael, David is out there, and then Susie is on YouTube and Caledonia on Facebook. Michelle, what else is going on?
Well, we apparently have a superstar with us in our class because somebody's dad chimed in and said, my daughter is in your class there today. Does somebody have a dad named Larry?
I love it. So,
do you want to say hi to Dad?
Hi, Dad.
All right.
hi, Dan from Lauren. So Lauren says hi. How cool is that? So yeah, if you know somebody who's in our studio audience today, kind of chip in here. Let's go. Because yeah, it's going to be a pretty great day. So Michael, Dove, David, you're all out there. Caledonia, Susie, you're out there. I have my phone so I can look at some things. You're out there. Inside, it is a full house, but it's already 3:07, which means that we only have 53 minutes to go. And I know that Teacher Jeri has so much planned for you. And if we're going to try to squeeze it into 53 minutes, Teacher Jeri, come on up, but don't trip over the table.
I know, I can't go very far. Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Well, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad, and I'm glad that you're going to do a large thing.
I know, this is as close as we can get.
We can get, all right.
So we're not being awkward. It's just there's a table down here. But I'm excited to be here.
It's social spacing.
Right? Well, by what standards, but...
But glad you are here.
Thank you.
And it's a tough time because you're right into the movement to the wedding season.
Right?
I mean, you are right on that
a little bit of anxiety, like, are we preparing enough? Are we getting ready enough? Do we have our systems in place?
Yeah, because when does it really, because it used to be, they said, oh, June is wedding, and then it moved up to Memorial Day, and then it moved up to like April, March, spring break-ish. What is it now in your world?
Well, I think everyone's world is probably different. Ours this season starts a little bit, we have a little bit of a slow ramp up, which I don't hate. I'm okay with that. But
and I'm grateful because you're here.
Right? So we probably have another month where it feels like, this is just such a beautiful pace, the life balance is there, all the things before things really start to hit. So
that would be May.
Yeah. Okay. Right in there with Mother's Day, right, you guys?
I know. So that would be my first question for all of you out there in the tulip world. When does your wedding season ramp up? And then Teacher Michelle and Teacher Annie will be watching, and they'll let us know. But when does your wedding season ramp up? So you're thinking May is going to be when you get crazy.
Well, I know.
You're starting.
Yeah. That's when the doubles and the triples start happening is in May. So
So will this be the first wedding season in your new studio?
Second. So we moved in almost a year ago. So this will be the second wedding season. So the studio's been proven. Sherry, we moved into a new studio space about a year ago, and it's much smaller, and so I was really worried about it. But it's been functioning really well. So we just started real tight in there.
And so it works.
We know it works. Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you because
Yeah.
you have the perfect space now.
I know, it's been so fun to work in. It's so cute, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So Jeri's with Bella Bloom Florals, and Susie in Caledonia, if you can put her link on there so that they can find her. Because I know many of you are here to see what little wedding insight she can give you. and yet others might be looking for a wedding florist. You know?
I'm happy to be either.
If you're in Portland, Oregon, but really, insight is what we're looking at today, because Jeri's been a florist for many years, successfully doing weddings for many years, and she's learned some things don't work and some things do. And so today is sharing you insight on weddings. And then we're going to start with a bouquet.
Yep. So I am going to work on a little bouquet. And as I do that, if you guys have any questions just in regards to the wedding world at all, or processes, or, you know,
And I'm going to sit and drink coffee.
you drink the coffee. But any questions that I could answer, we did put some questions out to the Tulip bunch, so we are going to answer those on live. But if you have any additional questions, feel free to post them. Would that be the right word?
I guess. Type away.
Type away and we'll get them answered. Okay, so somewhere, it doesn't matter, somewhere in preparation, I put a little piece of floral net, and it's not needed. Anyway.
We've lost it.
It's okay, we lost the floral net. Oh, did Jules find it?
Oh, Jules.
Oh, this is a different one. She found, but this is perfect.
It works.
It works.
The tech team takes
She
care
comes
of
through.
everything.
I saw it earlier. Oh.
So oftentimes, or the last few lives I've done, I have used a floral net armature, and that's probably, I mean, honestly, still my go-to. I plan on using it all season, but I've been seeing a lot of florists go back to a floral armature, which cracks me up because this is probably like my baby, a handful of years ago, every single bouquet.
Yes.
So I've been seeing a lot, I'm going to put this down, we're going to hide that again, but I've been seeing a lot of people use like white statice or white hydrangea, but in a really tight way instead of a floral net armature. So pros and cons, especially with hydrangea, there's a possibility it could fail where your wire can't, right? Although I would have done status. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any white at the market today.
I didn't see any on Monday.
Yeah. I figured like purple with this wasn't going to be the answer. You guys know that bright purple status. And so I chose hydrangea. It'll do the same. And I'm being so mean to it, you guys. I'm smashing all those laterals, and I'm going to tape way up there and just create this really tight ball of hydrangea that I'm going to use as the armature for this bouquet.
Oh, you don't have your 1-inch tape.
And what's a girl to do? It's okay.
It's
okay. This little
I
tape is-
have to get this. Sorry, people. I'll be back.
She'll come back. I am addicted to 1-inch tape, you guys, but for this smaller tape will work. So, hey, Annie, you have a question out there?
Oh, I was just gonna tell you that today, what day is it today? Day 9, 8 in basic, we are using the floral netting.
So the classroom today is doing this big, beautiful bouquet with floral net. So now they get to see like a second armature style. So poor little hydrangea all smashed down here.
We saved it just
She
for
saved
you.
the day.
Oh my gosh.
This is my favorite, you guys. She's a little intense, but she's my favorite. And into this armature, I'm just going to start adding some of these gorgeous garden roses. There are so many beautiful garden roses in here. Someone's going to have to help me with all the names. Okay, but, oh no, Michelle, I tried to remember. This one is alabaster. Nope, this is not. This
Baby
is
patience?
Patience,
What is?
Probably patience.
Patience. Is it slightly yellow tone in the middle?
Yes. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. We'll get it all figured out over here. But there are so many beautiful garden roses in the studio. It's a little bit overwhelming.
I know. Well, and if you want to see a close-up of each garden rose, if you go onto the Facebook page, you will see 1 through 12. All of the garden roses are from Garden Roses Direct. They're all grown at Alexander Farms, and you can see each variety and each name, and that one might be Patience. but we don't really know.
I will tell you that it smells like heaven. It is amazing. Well, will you grab me more of this mystery rose? Okay, but the reason I grabbed this rose first is one of the questions that was put out to the Tulip bunch was, when something's not available or when something's off season, what kind of subs are available? And one of the flowers that was brought up was the peony. And I feel like a garden rose, like this, where it's more cupped and really roughly, makes a great substitution for a peony. I feel like it just has that shape and it's going to give that vibe. In fact, I feel like a lot of clients, when I consult with them, they'll say, oh, that's a beautiful peony, when in fact it's a garden rose. Oh, Jules, do you want me to put it in the close-up camera?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Do it.
Just hold still.
Oh, hold still.
That's perfect. I love that rose.
Yeah, it's so pretty,
It
right?
doesn't even look like a rose in my mind, but it's so cool looking.
And we're voting its patience.
We're voting as patience.
And it's so fragrant.
Yeah,
It
it's
is just
really beautiful.
amazing.
So, so to answer that question, I feel like a good sub for a for a peony would be a garden rose. I think that a ranunculus will kind of work to give that vibe as well. And I'm just threading these, guys, I didn't take the thorns off yet. I'm just threading these roses through my armature. Let me get a couple cleaned up as we answer some questions.
And that one you grabbed there is Eugenie, right?
Yep, this is
Yeah.
Eugenie. Yeah,
is amazing.
that is amazing. Here, I'm gonna give you a close up, maybe.
Yeah, you can do it.
I can do it.
Look at its little cute face.
It's so beautiful. But also, let's see, other subs. Oh, someone asked about dahlias as subs, but I think like a disbud, like Lynette. Is that right?
There
Annie?
are
Yeah,
some
Lynette
good
looks a lot like a dahlia.
Yeah, and can go subbed in there very well, definitely.
Yeah, will you remind me of the other specific ones that?
We're kind of peony subs.
Well, they asked about peony subs or.
Well, you know, you can always cluster
Dahlias.
carnations together
To give a peony look?
and
Absolutely.
tie them with your 1-inch tape. And then they would really fluff out.
Right?
So, yeah, the carnations can be a good sub. And then the garden roses, what else does she have on her list? Because
So
there
you
were
talked
some.
about ranunculus.
Yep.
And the chrysanthemum disbud.
Yep.
And the dahlias is really the prime.
Those were the ones that were asked about, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, well, perfect. Well, we covered it. But I feel like there's a lot of,
There are so many options.
Right?
Yeah.
so I'm just weaving that through that little armature.
So you're pulling it all in through the hydrangea.
Mm-hmm.
But the hydrangea is going to just disappear. Is that correct?
The hydrangea will be totally gone when we're done. And it's going to have a really ugly teenage phase right now.
But so,
So-
this is the non-foliage version.
Which is just so
Are you seeing a
trendy.
lot of non-foliage?
Mm-hmm. I don't even know what to do.
Sorry,
No.
you foliage growers. We didn't mean to say that, but yeah, it is really happening, isn't it?
Yes, so many things without foliage right now. All the mounds of flowers, that's very trendy right now. That whole mounded look, very trendy right now. Okay, so I'm just weaving those through there. And kind of keeping it a low center and then coming up here on the sides.
So I know you had asked the tulip bunch for several questions, which we've got. We have your questions printed out so that we can answer. We're paying attention to that. But if you didn't take the time to go into the tulip bunch, if you're not part of that group, or if you didn't take time to do it, if you have a question, type it in there, because Teacher Michelle, Teacher Annie are watching, and they'll voice those. And I may turn my phone on here in a minute and do that, but right now I'm still paying attention to Jeri, because I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
Tape on the ground.
Oh, I know.
But
Don't
as
you
I'm
hate
kind
that?
of working this, we can answer some of these other questions too. Someone had a business question and asked about insurance, and I'm not an expert, but I think my answer to that question would be, check with like your local area and look into all of that. But we've all agreed that at the bare minimum, you're going to need some general liability insurance, right? And so that's an easy answer. Just do a little research, and general liability insurance is the minimum I think that you would need. But I would just definitely like check with your, make sure that you're licensed and all that kind of stuff. Check with your county and your city and make sure you have all the things that you need to be on the up and up.
Insurance goes along with licensing. And if you're not licensed, it's very difficult to get insurance. So definitely get your licensing taken care of first, and then insurance. Oftentimes you can do an add-on to another insurance policy.
With your business insurance?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I
if
keep
you've
mine
already
separate,
got
but yeah.
one thing,
Mm-hmm.
you can add on
Mhm.
something to that.
Mhm.
But the first is, you must have all your licensing or you're not insurable.
Mhm.
And insurance is very important.
Well, and I think the question came up because a lot of hotels and venues require insurance.
Right.
And so if you don't have it, or they're wanting proofs of
Yeah.
insurance before
They
you
want
show
that
up.
little add-on, will you put us as an additional paid if something goes wrong?
Right, which is really easy to do once you have the insurance. Like
Yeah.
Leanne was sharing that she just reaches out to her agent. I can do it all online. So like that's super simple.
You do it online.
I know. You just click a button and
I
then
call
they send
him. He probably says, "Oh, it's that old lady again. She could do it online." But yeah, I mean, it's so easy. Once you have a policy, you can do those additional insured for each venue as you need. But you have to have your first original policy, and so that's a very important step.
Well, and I think that while we are talking about those things and talking about like business structure and insurance and things like that, as soon as you move to have employees on a payroll, you have to have workman's comp. Don't forget. In the state of Oregon, if you're in Oregon, we'll get real mad at you.
Well, actually, every state. Yeah,
I only know Oregon.
yeah, we do Florida, we do Washington, we do Texas. It's like, yeah, and so, yeah, workman's comp is super important. And people say, oh, we can just do this. And you can, but it's not always wise. Do the professional step. If you are really going to be doing this as a business, do the professional step of getting the proper insurance. Because if you've worked for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years to build up your life, and then you've started this dream business, make sure you're protected so it doesn't affect your life. So having insurance is super important. Man, we should be being paid by the insurance agency.
No, not
Yeah,
that
what is
anyone wants
this
to pay
all
it.
about?
But it all snowballs if you don't have everything set up right.
Yeah.
It gets all scary. And I think as creatives, it's not always the thing that we want to do. We want to make pretty things and make samples and set up all the marketing, and those things are more fun for
They're
creatives.
way more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
You have to hire someone who can do it maybe. Like,
Oh
I don't
my
know.
gosh.
Anyway, it was a question that came up, and so I wanted to speak to it in limited knowledge,
That's
but
good.
I think, research and make sure it's all set
Make
up
sure
right.
it's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't cut corners there.
Right? Okay, so I am just continuing to build these sweet little roses on top of each other. This is going to be a big, beautiful, floppy bouquet of roses, and I'm going to put
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh.
so interesting because I feel like this whole style and this trend is just kind of piles of flowers. But it is so pretty. Look at it. She's beautiful. I'm going to add a little.
So Annie and Michelle, what's going on out there?
Well, we've had a couple people answer Jeri's question about when the season ramps up. Gina said that hers is just year round. She doesn't really seem to have a major peak or a major valley. And a couple folks said theirs kicks off in May.
Nice. Well, I love that. The gal who said it was year round. Where's she at?
Yeah, Gina, where are you? Remind me. We're coming to you.
Yeah.
I know, how cool
Consistent
is
work
that?
year round.
That would be pretty amazing. But then when do you get to take a vacation?
I know.
Hello?
Back in the
What's
old
wrong?
days. Yeah.
So I'm gonna look in here and see too. What else is going on? Oh my gosh.
And then Gina had a question.
For sure.
Using those hydrangea as armatures, how are you going to keep them from wilting?
In a vase with the water. Are you? So I used to use hydrangea armatures. I don't know. Gosh, somebody tell me the year, but maybe 10 years ago, like every bouquet had a buried hydrangea armature under it. And you might get some wiltage in there, but so will you with so many of your soft blooms, like your sweet peas and things like that. And so we would transport with water. We would encourage the client to put the flowers in water, like between pictures and the ceremony or whenever is possible. We would ask that the client put them back in water so they can hold up as best as possible. Honestly, this hydrangea, I pulled off the market this morning and it's a little bit floppy. She's not awesome. But I would make sure that my hydrangea is super hydrated. and really turgent to start out with. And then I think that it would be just fine. But I have been seeing a lot of people use other products. So like the white status, like that would be bulletproof, right? So, I'm sorry, sweet pea. So you wouldn't have any problems with something like white status. So if that made you feel more comfortable, use something inexpensive that you can bury under there. But the idea is, and you could use chicken wire too, but the idea is that you don't, in this situation, you wouldn't have to use chicken wire or floral net, excuse me, but it would just be, just a different option for you. So.
And she's in Northern California.
Northern California. Do you have sun today? I'm
It's
so jealous.
interesting because we're doing foliage free right now.
Right, that's definitely the trend. Is that what
yeah.
you mean?
And Amy posted that she always does a lot of foliage.
Armatures?
She said getting a lot of foliage bouquet requests.
Oh, I'm
So
jealous.
curious. So Amy, where are you? Kind of fill that in because she's getting a lot of foliage direct things.
Well, I love that. I love a greenery armature because you can do them up in advance. And so we'll make a greenery armature days in advance and just have that done, ready to go. And I feel like it just speeds up the whole process.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'm okay if greenery comes back. Come on now.
Come on. Well, and then I saw a comment from Dennis, but now I already forgot what it is. So
Oh, no.
Annie or Michelle, if you can tell me what Dennis said, that would be great. So Annie, you had something?
Yeah, so Karen on Facebook was wondering, would you spray with a finishing spray?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. At all the different layers too, if you wanted to. So as you began, you could spray down the hydrangea, but any anti-transparent would be lovely to use and just, right? Do a happy dance, do all the things to keep the hydrangea alive, for sure.
And Jules has something for us.
Yeah,
Well, I
Jules.
found Dennis's comment.
Excellent.
Dennis said, how early do you order in your garden roses or other roses for open roses for the event?
I like my roses in on Monday of the event week. For a Saturday or other, weekend day wedding. I like them in on Monday. We can control them in our studio by leaving them open in a warmer space or putting them in the cooler. So we'll get them in, we'll let them hydrate, and then we'll let them warm up so we know they're cracking and we know that they're going to be where we want, and then we'll slow them down if they're opening too fast for us.
Interesting, because when the roses came in on Monday from Garden Roses Direct with Alexandra Farms, the class and I did the original hydration, and then Tuesday they rehydrated doing the full hydration, and then they came to today and they're just now getting to perfect, and many of the varieties are not open yet. So that is exactly what you need. You order them in early and then wait through. So
Right.
same story.
Well, and sorry, Annie can't talk yet. So the school posted this really beautiful study or sampler, I think you called it, of all these garden roses.
Right.
On day what? What day was that?
Monday.
What day did you have? Was that day 1?
That would have been day 4 probably when we shot the pictures of the sampler.
Day
Because we
4.
would have come in on, might have been day 3. Because they probably came into me Monday. Jules probably shot them on Wednesday.
That makes
So
sense.
they would be 3 days old at that point.
So what day are we on now? This Monday?
No, this is a second batch.
Oh.
Exact same
gotcha.
varieties, new batch. So yeah, so those of you that saw that, we got in last January, I think it was, these same 12
I thought
roses.
that was these roses.
No,
Oh,
the
you
whole
fooled me.
Same 12, and then we filmed and blah, 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 and Jules shot them on a Wednesday.
It'd be fun to shoot them
And
more
then
open.
I set them, we set them back here, but then she went on vacation. And then
Jules.
I came and shot a picture of them every day.
Oh, you already did this. How
And
did
I was
miss
like,
it?
which ones, well, I didn't post it because I
Oh.
don't have a great, because I shot it. It's not Leanne's greatest
Oh, Leanne.
example. I know, it was like, oh, Leanne did all this, but it doesn't work.
You're afraid you did them dirty? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but anyway, it was quite interesting because all of the roses lasted a good 6 to 7 days. And then some of them went on to like 10, 11, 12 days. Oh my gosh. So
I think the question is, for me though, is if I wanted them at this perfect, and it's warm in here, but if I wanted them at this perfect, open, beautiful spot, can I bring them in on Monday? Is that enough time? Yeah. Okay. Just keep
And
them warm.
I love it. You say it's warm in here. It is 65 degrees.
It's like a million
Warm.
degrees.
In here,
It's
yeah.
warm.
But we're all feeling like it's so hot. I know. I know. We're all like, yeah. And yeah, it's 65. It might be 64. I don't know. But we're all like, okay, we're sweating because we're used to being in the flower world where it is always cold.
Right? For sure. Okay. Hey, Michelle, what you got over there?
So Chris had an interesting question.
Yeah.
Wanted to know if you had any advice on delicate phrasing when someone brings in inspiration pictures that are definitely AI or been altered, like everything faces forward, that's not normal. How, do you have any special way to kind of point that out gently?
I mean, I'm learning because I feel like, you know,
The
it used
AI
to, yeah,
thing.
and it used to be that every, you know, not every, but like a client, especially like a client wanted blue or something like that, you saw so many silk images, and now, and so you're like, okay, well, that's not real. Are we just using that for inspiration? But now it's AI images, which is interesting because now it's not only the colors that could be different, but the scale is weird, and you're like, okay, that doesn't exist in real life. Anyway, to answer the question, I generally say like, oh, to me, I'm not certain that, you know, this picture looks like it possibly could be AI. Are we just using it for like inspiration for a color palette or the vibe? And then I try to find them some images of something that is actually like, I know that's been produced by real people, real hands. This came up not too long ago.
Is it a real hand with 6 fingers or 7 fingers?
Just five, at least 5. But this came up not too long ago where a client sent me an inspiration image prior to a phone consultation, and I said, you know, this is a lovely picture, and it totally matches like everything you're telling me, but I don't think I can produce it for you. Some of the things are just, I'm not sure if they're real. Is it possible that this image could be AI? Like, that's what I asked her. I said, I think that it might be. And she said, oh yeah, I made it for you. And I was like, well, I can't make the bouquet for you because they would have these beautiful miniature lilies in it. And I was like, I've never seen a miniature lily. So...
But maybe we could grow some.
But I will grow you a miniature lily for sure. But no, I'm just gentle, and I just try to never, regardless of what it is, never assume anything with clients, and just try to be like super gentle and figure out what it is they have going on and what they need. So, but that's a great question. So, any more questions out there that you guys want to?
No, but to follow up on the question, Amy, who is still getting greenery requests, is in Northeast Pennsylvania, and she says they're always 20 years behind the trend.
Oh, well.
Nice.
But, you know, it was just in the last couple of years that Portland was super foliage centric, and we just moved over. So you're not 20 years behind us, but I guess we're both
A little behind.
18 years behind. So good to know. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so I'm going to peek at my notes really quick, you guys, and see, there was some good questions that came in. So we answered about business insurance. Let's see. Someone talked about, someone asked, how do you get wedding work? And I kind of expanded on that, like, how do you get the wedding work the kind of wedding work that you want to do?
Because there's
right?
two different
Yes,
things
those
there.
are two different things. I remember in like early stages and like marketing, and we were already social media marketing, but I would always post these things that were really budget friendly. Like I just want to make it all happen for all my different kinds of clients. I love them all, but I was posting these like baby sweet table centers, and I was like, look I can do it for almost free. And then people were booking that stuff, but not big beautiful things, right? And I was like, that's so silly. Why would I market what I don't want to make
So you turned your marketing
Right.
into what you want to sell.
Right. We'll do all the
Which
things.
makes total sense.
Right. But I don't want to promote the things that
That,
come on now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I feel like that's a simple concept, but for some reason it took me a while to.
Well,
be
I think it takes us all because we're like, oh, we can make pretty,
right.
and you can.
Right. We're all creatives. We can solve all the problems, but
But
I don't always want to solve all the problems.
no, we
So,
want to solve the problems for the clients that allow us to pay our bills.
Right. So I would say market what you want to make. And when you're starting out and you don't have a lot of collateral, consider doing like a photo shoot or doing samples and, posting those things so that clients can see them and the type of client, create for the type of client in mind that you want. Oh gosh, you guys, it all
That
disappears
is so
sometimes.
funny though. This is just gorgeous. I'm going to
Oh,
hold it up
did I
so
have
that
the-
people can see.
Well, that's
It's
there you go.
beautiful
Go
on
that
both
direction.
sides.
Well, that one's.
So, okay, can we get,
Oh, do you want
I
me to
don't
help
think
you?
it's a close-up. Maybe we'll just do it over here.
Hold on.
And I'll just kind of turn it around. Because it's beautiful from both sides. Look how fabulous. So Teacher Annie, you have a question.
Yes.
While I spin this around artfully, I'm Vanna.
So Karen on Facebook wants to know, have you ever had to turn a bride away because you thought it would not be a good fit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you have to handle that pretty gently. But sometimes you're just not the right fit for every client. Sometimes they're wanting something that's outside of your skill set. And I think that if you're like transparent and honest, that's the way to go about that. If you're talking like stylistically, I feel like that has to be like a really delicate conversation. But it's been a while. And here again, like I think if you market what you do, you normally get those clients coming to you. But I remember, here again, it's been many moons, but someone asked us to do a bunch of things with like dyed blue roses. And that's just, like some people do that so well, but it's just never been my thing. Like I just, we were talking about this earlier, like I'll tint when I have to, but I would rather Mother Nature do the heavy lifting when she can. And so, and I just said, there's other people in our area who really do this well and it's not me.
I
So
love it. But sometimes you're better to say no. Because if you
Yeah.
know it's not going to make you happy,
also like
It's
when
not
you
gonna make
look at
them
something,
happy.
yeah, and you look at something and you don't like it, it's hard to be the barometer. It's hard to be like, are they gonna think it's pretty if I don't even think? You know what I mean? Like it's hard to judge if you don't like it from the get-go.
exactly.
So-
yeah, not my thing.
Right?
Oh
Right?
my gosh. So then you've got another arrangement
Yeah.
to share with us.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah,
Give the
okay.
monster.
Let's see the monster.
Okay, so we had so many questions about how to product plan and how to decide how much to put into something. Leanne, are you over there still?
We'll just kind of go around. I know. But don't you love the way this kind of frames Jeri? This is like the perfect thing. I'll just step aside.
You might have to. And so I think the answer to figuring out, and I think when we are building bigger pieces that we've never built before, it feels intimidating. But I think if we break it down into sections or feet or however we want to think about it, but break it into little parts. So I have, I can spin this, you guys. I have
How cool is that?
one grande cage here.
So, people are always saying, where do you get these? And we get them, in the classroom for everybody. But Direct Floral has all of this stuff. So if you need it, they do have it.
And so but we could pretend that we were putting this section of material all like on a completely covered arbor. We could pretend that we were doing like offset florals. I always use that word where it's like a corner and a leg on an arbor structure. If you were doing a giant railing, you could, this could be a section of that. But if you break it down into sections and recipe per section, that really helps me kind of figure out the math. So then if I was doing an all over arbor, I might think that, okay, depending on the size of the arbor, I might need 10 of these. So then I can do a sample and I can figure out the materials that I need for this one and then just multiply that out times 10 is kind of how I go about it. So So we are pretending this is a little arbor piece here. Will you hand me that peach stalk there?
Stock.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe we're giving you this.
So Jeri,
Yes.
here's a follow-up question
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
You've talked about how you might estimate flowers
Mhm.
based on units,
Yeah.
whatever your unit is.
Mhm.
But how do you choose those flower varieties that you're working with?
Yeah. Okay, that's an awesome question. How do I choose? So I'm going to first, be talking to the client, right, and meeting with the client and figuring out like what their vibe is and what material and their color palette and what materials will make sense for what they're after. And then I'm going to figure out like what's seasonal in that palette and in that vibe. If I'm not sure or if I don't know off the top of my head, you could lean into your wholesale houses for that information. And then I'm going to think about things like, where do we need to hit budget wise? And do I need to combine like some more affordable products with like some bougier products, or, kind of where we need to hit budget wise if the client has somewhere that they need you to be. So that's kind of how I start on that. And I'm going to look at their photo inspiration. So that's kind of like my starting place. When a client sends in inspiration, we ask that we have a little visual inspiration before meetings. And I can kind of say, okay, everything that you're loving is ruffly, or everything that you're loving is really linear or modern or clean or whatever the thing is. And then I'll find product that kind of fills that vibe.
So I was looking through comments there for a bit while you were working and such, and it's interesting. There's a lot of discussion. Are the pricing changes affecting how you do your wedding proposals and such, with the pricing of flowers changing? And do you even, my thought is, well, you have to look at the price of what you paid and go, but.
Is the question though about how do you predict the future? Because like how I price never changes, right? Like it's just math.
So, okay, that's the answer. So it's just math.
It's just math.
And then
And I try
sometimes
not
it changes.
to like some clients more than others. No, I'm just teasing. But sometimes it's so hard when they're so adorable and want all the things, and you have to say that's not going to work in this budget. But it's just math. And so I think as a creative and someone who like loves on all the clients, if you just have the math, it's always the same. That's really helpful. So.
Cool. So, Jules, should we scooch this way a little more? Is Jeri off camera?
Well, I'm just trying to get the second camera so that we can see, and I think that will,
Oh, now we screwed up your second camera. But I just was trying to make sure that she was right on your first camera, but now I screwed up your second
Oh,
camera.
that was me.
Blocking her a bit.
Oh,
but
that's
now
my
I just-
face. Here, I bet I can turn it this way every once in a while.
Okay.
So I have this all greened
Just
up.
tell us what we need to do.
Yeah.
So pricing is really all about the math. You know
Yeah.
your costs, and then you have a markup plan.
I would say that the only little tricky thing for an event florist is though, like we're bidding 12 to 18,
Yeah, so how do you have any hints for people there?
I mean, it's been awful tricky in the last handful of years, but
It has been the worst.
I just kind of try to anticipate what the price increases will be. And I also hesitate to bid more than 12 months out. So more than 12 months out, I'll let clients know that I'll put together some sort of soft bid and then we'll have to revisit after a little bit. And I didn't used to feel the need to do that. I felt like I could anticipate, but with all the things going on in the world, I think it's just harder. And I think COVID taught us all a lesson.
Right.
So
I like that word. So for all of you out there listening, did you just hear that? I'll repeat it. A soft bid.
And some people might have something in their contract. We write a little note on the proposal that's basically like it's a rough draft and a place to get us started.
But soft bid sounds so wonderful. Rough draft doesn't sound as nice.
Right.
But soft bid, it's like, we think we can do this, but there may be changes.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, and and we've gotten pretty good at it, but sometimes you just don't know, right?
No.
And COVID definitely taught us that. Hey, Michelle, you have a question over there?
I do. So Greg over on YouTube is wondering how to go about designing that individual component, and then the rest of them. Is it kind of like a centerpiece, like a long low centerpiece? Is that kind of your thought process on the form that you're going for?
Good question,
So
yeah.
I think the idea would be more, oh, that's such a good question. I apologize. And maybe I didn't explain that well enough. So imagine this structure. I just needed something that would fit in here, but let's pretend this is a big arbor piece or an arch or some sort of,
Which we
structure.
weren't gonna fit on
We couldn't fit the structure in here. So it's the idea that we could have a structure and we could have one of these on a leg and two more of these over here. And to do
they need to show up for wedding trends and techniques.
Oh,
and we are doing that.
Absolutely.
But for live, this is what you get. But if you show up for wedding trends and techniques in April, we're doing the entire thing.
But the concept could be, the idea is that you are figuring out what the math is and what the flower counts is on one chunk and multiplying it. So it could apply to a long runner, for a table center, anything that you want. But especially when you're starting out and you're trying to figure out what product how much product you need, how you like things, all that type of thing. It's nice to, in your studio or in your space, do just one chunk. And then that is going to make you, right, it's going to give you the opportunity to practice. You're going to feel more comfortable with doing those pieces. And it's going to let you prove your flower math. Like if you thought I was going to need this, 6 of these and this much greenery, you could really make sure that is going to work out for you before you have to do it on a big giant structure or times 12 or whatever. So does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
Okay. Good.
So Teacher
We
Annie,
have another question on Facebook. When you're using floral foam, how far in advance do you typically create your designs for an event? Do you design the day before or the morning of?
Yeah, so I think every event florist does that a little bit differently as far as like their big pieces. We will green up early in the week, especially if the piece has an ample water source. In a cage like this, if we wanted to green up early, we would just put it on its back and drop it into a bus tub of water and keep everything all hydrated. It would be totally fine, all greened up and in a bus tub of water for, I don't know, weeks, right, in the cooler. And then we could pull them out and work them. In most cases, honestly, I like to do a lot of big builds on site personally when I can and when the time allows. Once I get the flowers in here, I don't like to do that more than just a couple days in advance. So for a Saturday wedding, we might start those on Thursday afternoon or do those Friday morning. And here again, we just make sure that everything is super wet and everything is super hydrated and then keep it in the cold.
How much of a percentage of your order is extra? Do you order like 10% extra, 20% extra, no extra?
Like for emergencies, like just in case.
Yeah.
So I brought with you, and Leanne said she could share if you guys wanted to. I can't remember what you said though.
so send the email to Rose at floraldesigninstitute.com. So send it to Rose, and then we can send you this email, because that way it'll go to where we can find it. So send it to Rose at floraldesigninstitute.com, and then she'll send you this little file.
Well, and we have a few things we can talk about, but one of those is just this really easy, anyone can do it table that I just create in a Word doc, and I put all the product I need and all the different designs that are going to happen, like bouquets, arbors, and then I just run that product out. But to answer the question, generally, right, you always have a little bit of overage, but by doing this worksheet, it shows you how much you're going to have. And overall, I probably don't want more than like 10% overage. In the wedding season, we can generally roll things from week to week, depending on what it is. But we don't want a ton extra, because that's your paycheck, right? So we want it kind of as tight as possible, but you are always going to have some breakage, right? 10%. What's your experience, Annie?
I think 10% is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I also look at the type of flowers, like for instance, stock. I will probably order an extra, couple bunches of it just to have it, because it's just such a finicky flower at times.
Right, Henri?
Yeah.
Oh, here they are.
Or like anemones, if I'm concerned about them opening,
Yeah.
definitely order extra.
Yeah, and it makes a good point. There's some flowers that are oh, you're not going to be able to see me. I mean, it's going to be hidden. There's some flowers that you just know are not going to behave as well as others. And those ones you might order extra, or like the key feature you need for bouquets or something like that, you might consider having additional of those just in case.
Another thing.
Oh, sorry, this one's champagne.
Okay, I was like, which one is that?
I don't know if it matters, but you are.
I am just arms.
Block off Leanne. Leanne just sits over here.
No, you're not blocked.
I'm just sitting off eating bonbons.
So one of the, oops, that's not behaving, you guys. So one of the questions that came up maybe once or a couple times was, what questions do you answer or ask during a consultation, like a wedding consultation? And I felt like it would be way too much to talk about in 1 hour. And so I did type those all out, and Leanne can send you those as well if you're interested. But I think most importantly, what I've learned over the years is to just assume that your client has never done this before, because they haven't, right?
No.
And so you have to kind of slow down and put yourself in their shoes.
They've never done it except for the serial bride.
Right, you're right. Some maybe, but most have not. And so, and you don't know what their goal is coming into the meeting. Like, do they want you to build it and you're their florist, or are they nervous about pricing and they just want pricing information? What is it that they're after? So I always start a meeting just, with a deep breath and just slowly, kind of slow things down so I'm not coming at them too intense. And I always ask them, like, what are your goals for this meeting? Like, what do you hope to accomplish with this meeting? And then I let that kind of lead the direction that we take the meeting.
I'm gonna turn this so they can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
for a minute, and
absolutely.
then we'll pull it back to you,
And then-
but that way they can see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna slip that over.
And then during that consultation, how do you handle minimums? Do you have a minimum? Do you believe in minimum? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think that is a tricky question. I try not to talk a lot about budget until the client brings it up. We do on our inquiry through our website state that we have a minimum and try to, and we have that on our website as well with some average pricing information. So we try to give them all that information in advance so nobody feels uncomfortable, because I feel like money is one of those tricky things to talk about. And oftentimes, so they'll share something like, I want to hit at $6,000, and they're sharing all these inspirations, and I know we're going to hit more than that. And that's been happening a ton this season, more than I've ever seen it. And I think it's probably
Whoa.
because flowers have gotten so expensive. Our inspirations are really beautiful, right? And so I asked them, or I have this year, so many clients it's come up, I asked them, do you want me to bid this exactly as you're saying? Like, I know it's going to hit more than what our goal budget is. Or do you want me to bid this to your budget? I'm asking them what's more important to them, because sometimes they've just thrown a number out there and they don't know that they don't need me to babysit their budget. That's their job. And so I just ask them, like, what's more important? Like, I'm happy to respect your budget and create a proposal that's going to hit where you have said you wanted to hit budget wise. But I also, that's for them to decide.
Approach, because you're like, okay, I understand this is your budget, and I can meet that, but not with the vision that you
Or not all
offer.
these pieces. There's going to be some decisions. I always use that.
Yeah.
We'll have to make some decisions.
I love that. So you just give them, you're not saying no,
Right.
you're just saying, okay, what is most important to you?
Right.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Did that answer the question, Michelle?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. I feel like those conversations are so tricky. And then I always end my consultations asking them, is there anything that we didn't talk about? Is there anything else that you want to share about you guys as a couple or your goals for the wedding? And then I always ask them, my very last question is always, what else do you want to know about me or my business or our processes? Like anything that I can speak to that would, kind of make you feel more comfortable as we move through all these, all these processes. But, it's always different questions, and sometimes I get nothing, and sometimes I get, really thoughtful questions that I'm glad that they ask, because
why did you ask that? I never would have
No.
thought that.
but I
Oh
want
my
them to
God.
feel super comfortable.
So I'm gonna look too. I know Annie and Michelle are looking. Let's see what else is on
question-wise?
here.
I
Yeah.
wanted to actually add something when you're about the ordering.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm ordering a difficult, or finicky flower, oftentimes I'll order from 2 different vendors, so that if one vendor doesn't come through, hopefully the other one does. Do you do that too?
I don't feel like I have to do that very often, but I've definitely done that before. I feel like there was, if anyone was designing when like Juliet garden roses were first coming on the market, like if you would order 2 bunches, you would get 1, or like cafe dahlias were the same way. They were so hard to get your hands on, and so I would order through like all our local wholesale houses. And generally, if they all came in, I would have too many, but it was the hope that I would just get the bare amount that I needed, which was generally, at that time, you'd get about 50% of what you ordered. And so you just kind of play that whole guessing game. So, but yeah, absolutely. All the things we do for our clients because we love them.
Yes.
So Sherry had a question.
Yeah.
Which I think is fantastic.
Okay.
What do you do as the florist when someone offers you a family member
Oh,
as a helper?
Yes. So she posted this question earlier, and I feel like sometimes clients come at us with these things that are obviously going to be outside of our boundaries, right? Or they're not going to be, comfortable. And I just always say, so the question was like, what if a family member or an aunt or someone wants to do be your helper or help out with the flowers? And I just try to always be positive. So I say, that would be wonderful. Can we figure out some sort of piece that they would like to do that's outside of the scope of our work? So can we coordinate with her so she can know the colors and the blooms, but maybe could she do a piece for the getting ready space, or could she do some flowers for the rehearsal, kind of outside of the scope of what we're doing? The reality of that is that we're moving so fast, and we kind of have our routine and our flow, and to introduce someone new into that, I think would really kind of slow down processes. And plus, like you've made these big promises to this client that everything is going to be perfect in a certain way, and if it will be an awkward situation, right? If you're trying to manage this person and maybe they're not doing it how you need it to be done. There's just so many things that could go wrong with that. But I always encourage them, like I never tell them that they shouldn't. I just encourage them to pick one thing that makes sense for them to do that's outside of the scope of our work. So.
Excellent answer. So another question that I saw that I'm going to turn this around and have you answer. And Annie and Michelle and the team already answered, but for those that are watching without reading the comments, they want to know how you connected this.
So these bars are round, and you find that right on pipe and drape or some structures. And so this bottom zip tie right here is an anchor. It's not holding to anything. And if this were really slippery, I might even put like a little no slip mat under there or something and zip tie that mat. But this is only there super, super tight so that I can put this one on top of it, and then hoping between the two of them that they don't slide. And so the cage is actually hooked to the top one, and that bottom one is just my insurance policy. And then I've just hooked it in a few places. When I design on any structure, I don't like my mechanics to move at all. I'm just a control freak like that. I just like it all nice and tight. And then of course, on this cage, we taped it up before we got it wet, so that can't pop open. And then I have some insurance zip ties right here and help everything not wiggle. But that's how I did that. So.
And they had already answered, but I know that those that don't read the comments later on the replay, they're going to come back to that and say, oh, what was that?
What was going on there?
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Let's see. Okay. There was a lot of questions about scale and like table center scale, and we're not doing a table center today.
No.
But I did have AI make you guys. We fed it a little information, but just created like a couple of tables. A table of tables. But just a little document here with like some common table sizes, what the diameter of those tables would be. Most weddings use 60-inch rounds if they're using round. That's a very typical size. You see that most often. And the question was like, how do I know how big to make the table center on a 60-inch round? And I think it really depends on all the components that are going on that table. So are there chargers? Are there napkins? Are there multiple glasses? Is there favor? What else is going on that table? Because that will contribute to the fullness of the table. And then from there, I think the bare minimum is like a grouping of bud vases, maybe a few candles, and then kind of going out from there. Numbers wise, I did write down some numbers, you guys, because I broke out my yardstick. Yeah, I broke out my yardstick. And if I had to give you an opinion, I feel like on a 60-inch round, your table center should be somewhere between 12 and 20 inches in diameter, all the way around. More than that, you're going to start to encroach on the other things going on in the table, and it's just going to feel overwhelming. But somewhere in there, and of course, visual scales, it's going to depend on, if you're going really tall and skinny, you can get away with something more narrow. You guys know that whole thing, but.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So, we have filled the day.
What?
I know, it's like you have filled it up. So, if you want more, as we always want more, Jeri will be back, I promise you. But for now, this is kind of her time. We do have the Advanced Wedding Trends and Techniques class coming up in April.
And that is going to be such an exciting class because
oh my gosh,
you're making big, beautiful pieces and doing like an arbor work. So if you're wanting to practice this,
and arbor, the whole thing.
And like all of these things that we're talking about are going to come up in that class.
Yeah. And we'll probably have garden roses.
I hope so. They're amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I want these all in my space all the time.
And then Jeri will be back with us for Advanced Floral Design on April 23rd that week. It's the very last Advanced Floral Design class. So if you want to work with Jeri, this is your opportunity. Sign up. I think there are 2 spaces left. Michelle, I sent you that roster. Is it 2 or 3?
We have 3.
3
and
spaces.
I'll make room for 4.
Oh!
I'll shoehorn another one in.
Okay, so 3 or maybe 4 if Michelle shoves them in. So yeah, last chance. And isn't this grand? So Jeri,
Yes.
thank you.
Hello over there.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. Thank you for giving us your day.
Absolutely.
I know that
It's
we're-
always the fastest hour. I
I
just
know.
want to share all the
I'm
things.
gonna move this.
Oh, good
because I
job.
have to
It's
be able to
it feels
see
very
you.
awkward.
I know. It's like, okay,
Oh,
now
no,
I
there
can
you
see
go.
you. But it's amazing because I never get to see you in the summer because, yeah.
You don't want to, Leah. No.
But it's so grand when you're here in the spring, and
Well,
the
I appreciate
students
you having me.
benefit so much, and you all benefit,
And I benefit. It fills my bucket.
and it makes me so happy. It just
Good.
makes me so happy. So if you would like to see Jeri's
List of consultation
her
questions.
stuff, send it to Rose at floraldesigninstitute.com. So Rose, you know how to spell that, at floraldesigninstitute.com. The reality is we all have class again tomorrow, so it might not get back to you until this weekend. But one of us will follow up with you because Rose is the master email, and one of us will follow up with you by this weekend. But just send it in and we'll get it to you.
And they're not fancy, you guys. But if you're new and starting out, it's a great starting spot.
You know, you don't have to be fancy.
Well,
And they
I
can make
tried, but these are not fancy.
But they can make it fancy.
Yeah. It's a late night project here for you guys. I just I knew we were going to run out of time, and I just wanted to share all the things.
I know,
So.
there's so much. But thank you for being here.
welcome.
God bless you. Oh my gosh, I am so thrilled. So we will see you another time.
Absolutely.
But for now, thank you, Susie and Caledonia, for keeping us going. Thank you, Jules, Michelle, and Annie for keeping it all going. And it's kind of fun to have a live studio audience.
A little nerve-wracking,
I
but
know. I was like, whoa. They didn't heckle.
No tomatoes.
No tomatoes, so life is good. And thank you to each of you for joining us today. We'll see you next week. But for now, get out there and go do something you love.